And take it from me as someone that feels the pressure and someone that just wants everything to go well right now. I'm just saying, just listen to the advice that I was given and the conclusions I came to from my coaches asking me great questions. Is it will work out in due time. You just have to settle down and keep on doing the work. Keep on doing the work. You know, like some of the comments I saw on YouTube, like I said, I can't really decipher if someone is legitimately asking me a question because they want more advice, or if they're trolling. It's the internet. You can't really figure it out and can't take it personal. But what I would 100% like people to take away is that I don't have everything figured out. Like, I'm not telling you this stuff because I know everything. I'm telling you this stuff because this is something I needed to hear in moments where whatever the subject or topic is and I'm labeling on the thumbnail, these are things that I wish I knew about these particular subjects. Who said you can't use gaming to encourage people? Who said you can't use gaming to teach people the ways? Not me. Welcome to the new episode of Gems in Gaming. Get ready as we log in to share some life wisdom and put you on game. Let's get it. Yo, what's going on, y'all? Don't ask me why I'm doing this in the dark, essentially, but I think it works for this type of game. I had some. Oh, it's kind of choppy. What's going on? I had some real good conversations with one of my coaches that's in my coaching agency. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what is happening with the game. Why is it so choppy? Must be. I'm playing an online game, so I guess that makes sense. But I had a real good conversation with a coach that I have that's in my coaching roster. And if you don't know what I do, I have a business called Pitch Play. The whole concept is business is a game, and we teach people how to play. To do that, I have coaches on my roster, and my coaches are really, really good at just giving me advice when I feel like I'm, doing something that I think is hurting the business. They're just really good at putting stuff into perspective for me and teaching me like how to make things a little bit better. And the good news is, like, I get to use our product because our coaches are very invested in the success of Pitch Play in the business. And what I do is I'll do better at at least putting the business somewhere on the screen. If I don't do that when this video goes up, forgive me. Just leave a comment and I'll definitely make sure that I'm giving you the links and showing you a little bit more about the business. And it's so funny for the recent comments that I got on some of the older videos. It's hard to give advice on the internet because it's hard to give tailored advice, I should say, because I don't know enough of the person, or if they're genuinely asking for more advice, or if they're just trolling. But if you actually are extremely curious about professional advice and not something that's tailored or just like general advice that I'm just saying to, help the person that just needs a little bit of motivation in the moment, then I contact us at pitchplayco.com. I will 100% give you actual real life advice. Me or my coaches will give you tailored advice. And one of the conversations I had with one of my coaches, she said to me, because I'm just kind of stressed out, making sure that that the business is working and everything is going as planned, and what I think is success. I want it to work. I'm just invested in the success of the business. And she just asked me questions, which a lot of coaching is just asking questions and investigating why people think the way that they do. Because normally when you ask questions, the answers that people give you it the solution comes from what we already know. We just really need to have that conversation with some people for the most part, and then they're able to give us a perspective that we really needed. Sometimes we just need to be heard, really. Right? So I'm explaining how stressed out I am. She asking me questions, and she concluded with, "Where's all this pressure coming from? Where's all this pressure coming from? You know, we've seen a lot of success. We've gotten clients. Our business is starting to become, I would say, known. I'm not gonna say popular, but I would say known in the communities that we work on and work in." And she's like, things are going well. Why do you feel the pressure? I'm just talking, and I'm just like, I want it to work. I want it to work so bad that I get stressed out about, the areas of improvement that I know we need to have, and I know needs to get better, and I know it will. Things take time. I'm just like, man, I need it now. I need it now. I need it now. And that's what she was asking me. Why on earth? This is just unusual. When you're in the outside looking in, and you see someone doing something great, you're like, wow, why are they freaking out? Why aren't they happy? Or why aren't, if I was them, I'd be so happy, blah, blah, blah. I do this. I'm guilty of it, so I'm sure you probably are too. The reason a lot of us put a lot of pressure on ourselves is for many different reasons. Like for me, I want the best for my daughter. I want the best for my wife. I want the best for my family, my friends. I want them to see things that I necessarily didn't have. And when you have a lot of money to spend on experiences that your village wouldn't usually get by themselves, it's kind of rewarding. And you think of them when you're trying to be successful, or at least I do, right? Like my success is cool and all, but I had that. But I am more concerned about other people that, just wouldn't necessarily, requires a heart. That's crazy. I ain't got that, big dog. But, I just know that there are opportunities that I was given that a lot of people just haven't had that chance yet. And, when you have more money, then you have the ability to offer people new experiences and new opportunities simply because of the resources that money brings. Right? I'm not saying money is the end all be all, and I'm definitely not saying that's what leads to success. But it helps, for sure. It helps. So, that's really my thought process when it comes to putting pressure on myself. I want to make sure that I'm able to give other people opportunities that they necessarily wouldn't have. I was blessed. I was blessed, and I didn't realize I was blessed as a younger child. My God, what is happening here? I didn't realize I was blessed as a younger child because I was just living the life that I was given, right? Of course you got, oh my goodness, what in the world? Of course you got people that are saying, oh, I'm cooked. Oh, I'm cooked. Oh, I'm cooked. We out. Yeah, let me not mess with Buddy. Deliver I don't know what that was, but I do need some new potions, if any. Yeah, let me drop that. Oh, man. What was that? What was I fighting, bro? Of course I had people always tell me how their life was harder, which is always good to get perspectives of other people, but when you're just living your life, you're not really thinking about what other people are going through, right? So I'm like, not really trying to hear that. But, I've seen enough now that I know, I just know how much of an opportunity I have to, I don't think I'm strong enough for this. Whatever this is, they got it, big dog. Y'all got it. I'm able to give other people the experiences and opportunities I didn't get. At least that's what I want, and that's why I'm aiming to do what I'm doing. And that's why I put pressure on myself for other people's sake. which isn't always a good thing, but it is good to fight not just for yourself but for other people, right? Obviously, it increases the motivation to be successful, and that's what I just really want to do, is give people an opportunity that they wouldn't necessarily get in their life. And because of that, I put a lot of pressure on myself, and that's not necessarily a good thing. Yeah, let me go ahead and get up out of here. I'm cooked. Whatever that is, they got it. So anyway, that conversation went well, and it put things into perspective. I wasn't gonna skip gyms and gaming. I was feeling low, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm not gonna do it, man." For whatever reason. But it's when I think it's when you're low and when you put pressure on yourself, for the most part, that you really need to settle down, sit down, and breathe, and just realize that you're doing good work. Even if it doesn't feel like it. Even if you wanted to work out, like you want everything to work out in your favor immediately, it just takes time. It just takes time. And take it from me as someone that feels the pressure and someone that just wants everything to go well right now. I'm just saying, just listen to the advice that I was given and the conclusions I came to from my coaches asking me great questions. Is it will work out in due time. You just have to settle down and keep on doing the work. Keep on doing the work. Like some of the comments I saw on YouTube, like I said, I can't really decipher if someone is legitimately asking me a question because they want more advice, or if they're trolling. It's the internet. You can't really figure it out and can't take it personal. But what I would 100% like people to take away is that I don't have everything figured out. Like, I'm not telling you this stuff because I know everything. I'm telling you this stuff because this is something I needed to hear in moments where whatever the subject or topic is and I'm labeling on the thumbnail, these are things that I wish I knew about these particular subjects. And sometimes I learned it too late. So the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is not because I want you to look at me like the end all be all for information or answers or anything like that. I just want to kind of give you a head start and a nudge in the right direction. That's my thought process. Oh, I'm supposed to do something in a particular time. I am not paying attention to this game. Diablo is... It's cool, but the older one, to me, the older Diablos, maybe I'm just the old guy talking smack, but the older Diablos are so much better. Like, I don't know. They're too easy right now, the older Diablos, but I don't know, man. It's just a lot happening on the screen. But I'm just old. Let me stop talking smack. It's a good game, I suppose. So, yeah, there are things I wish I knew, and things I wish I had heard back in the moments where I really needed certain things explained to me or said to me that I didn't have. So I don't want you to look at me like I know everything. Yeah, because that's not the case, and I wish it was, but it's not true, and I don't think that will ever be a point in my life where I got everything figured out. If you hear me giving advice or if you see me posting these videos, it's just because I think it could be helpful for you in your journey. But it doesn't necessarily mean what you're doing is wrong. If you aren't doing the things that I'm suggesting, it doesn't mean what I'm doing is better. Everyone is on their own path, and everyone has their own unique journey. The reason I'm talking about today and not putting pressure on yourself is no one else can be you, bro. Like, none of us know what you're going through. None of us can survive what you survive, or have survived what you survive, I should say. So, don't put pressure on yourself to feel like you gotta have everything figured out, or feel like, oh man, this one dude on YouTube said X, Y, and Z, blah blah blah, and then all right, I don't know what these blue enemies are, bro, but I don't stand a chance. We gonna go ahead and bounce. Man, what? What was that, bro? What was that, bro? We out of here. Let's go ahead and stun these enemies. We gone. Let's get out of here. Where my horse at, man? Yeah. I mean, don't put that pressure on yourself to have everything figured out. You're doing fine. How about that? Let's just let that be the lesson. You're doing fine. You're doing good work. Could you be doing better? Sure. I mean, we all could. Does that still take away the fact that you are doing good? No, it doesn't. You know, and you should. I'm not saying be okay with that only. You know, if you want more, aim for more. That's a good thing. But you are doing fine. You know, and that's something I had to tell myself. That's something people around me had to tell me. So if it's any solace, then I definitely want to be the rando on the internet that's telling you, like, yo, you're doing good work. You're doing good work. Just keep on going. Don't put too much pressure on yourself being perfect, because none of us are. None of us are. Right? Like, if you're like me and you want to post videos on the internet or, you know, content, don't worry about any negative reactions that you're going to have from people. I mean, there are better men than me, better women than me, better people than me in general that have received far more hate than I have received or probably ever will receive for the rest of my life. So why am I so focused on getting everything right? Why am I too scared to make mistakes, man? Don't do it. Trust me. Trust me. And I'm not telling you not to do it because I got it all figured out. I'm just telling you not to do it because these are the words that I needed to and still need to hear in my everyday life. You know, that's all. That's plain and simple. You know, I don't understand the mentality of when people hear advice, like they see my videos and they feel like, okay, well, I did do that. Well, what's next? You know, a lot of people look for imperfections in others, right? And to me personally, when I see people or I think of people that look for imperfection in others, then I know for a fact that they already thinking about the imperfection in themselves. Because if you take the pressure off of you, then you'll take the pressure off of other people. You'll take the pressure off of other people when they interact with you, because you know you're not perfect, so you're not going to be. Hopefully, you're not going to be a jerk to them and say, "How come you don't have this figured out? How come you're not perfect here? How come you're not perfect there?" Like, bro, none of us are. None of us are. You know, whenever I interact with somebody and they talk about, oh man, you're doing great, you got a business, yada yada yada, but that must be so good to have a business. You know, I'm just working this job, blah blah blah. Yo, it's steps to it. You and I are no different. You're just in a stage in life, probably most likely where I was prior to where I've gotten to today. Or you might be in a stage of life I've never experienced. And so when you start a business, if that's what you want to do, it's going to be better than anything I can imagine, anything I could create. The only difference is between me and the people that I've seen that want to be in my place, or in my position, I should say. The only difference is they haven't started yet. Or they haven't had the opportunity yet. That's really it. You know, don't put your pressure on being so perfect. Just prepare. And then when the time happens, you know, when the moment comes, you will be ready. Trust me. Trust me. You know, there's not many things I would say trust me on, because I know I don't have everything figured out. But you being ready and prepared for the next opportunity, yeah, I'm confident that you should just trust me on this. You will be ready when the time comes. Just make sure that you're putting in the work right now. Right now. And if it don't look good, cool. Name me one person that was great at everything they started for the first time. You're not gonna find that person. They do not exist. You know, it'd be dope if they did. You know, it'd be dope if I was that person. That'd be fantastic, I suppose. But I'm not, and I'm cool with that. That just means there's room for improvement, and because there's room for improvement, it's fun. I can still keep growing. I can still get better. Is this a quest or a mission? Because I've been losing. It was an event. I'm gonna keep going, bro. I've been getting my butt kicked by all these event monsters, I guess that's who they are. How do I speed up? Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Diablo 4, but seems like an okay game to kind of play in and out. I guess I'm just a purist, man. I'm a fan of the Diablo 2, Diablo 3 for real as well. But Diablo 4 is like, it's cool. It's cool. I don't know. I like what I like, I suppose, and I'm not used to it yet. But it's not bad. It was good for the topic of the day. I'm not gonna make this too long. I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm not gonna put no pressure on myself to make it a perfect video. Why? There's no such thing as perfection. But yeah, man, I'm just keeping it, keeping it simple. Just letting you know, there's no such thing as perfect. It just doesn't exist. But you do. So don't put the pressure on yourself to be perfect. Just be you. Plain and simple. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. Y'all take it easy and God bless.